Hello and welcome again to the Writer Review. This is Eric Carrot Writer, and this week we're going to be taking a look back at the 2018 3D computer animated adventure titled Leo da Vinci Mission Mona Lisa. Now this movie runs for 1 hour and 25 minutes long. It is directed by Sergio Manfio. It is produced by Fabio Testa. The script was written by Sergio Manfio and Francesco Manfio. It is composed by Marco Fidalto, and it was edited by Umberto Barrison. And it features the voice talents of Johnny Yong-Bosch, who everybody remembers as Adam, the Black Ranger from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. He was also a Green Ranger in Power Rangers Zeo and Power Rangers Turbo. Well, he's not morphing in this movie, but he is doing the voice of the leading character of Leonardo da Vinci. Also joining the cast of voice actors includes Cherami, Leigh, Bryce, Papenbrook, Faith Graham, Landen, Beattie, Michael Sorich, Keith Silverstein, Jamieson Price, Darrel, Guilbeau, Tom Fahn, Kyle McCarley, Tony Azzolino, Kate McGovern, Oreste Baldini, Giulio, Bartolomei, Stefano, Billi, Massimo de Ambrosis, and Roberto Draghetti. So for all those who think they're going to watch Leo da Vinci Mission Mona Lisa with the intention of it being an accurate historical account against one of the most brilliant minds of the 15th century, the question I ask you all is, what were you thinking? No, you are not looking into the life of Leonardo da Vinci and his amazing accomplishments as an artist, as an inventor, as an engineer, as a genius. No, although it would be a very interesting account to do a biopic based off of him and his amazing things that he did in his lifetime, but you're not going to find it here. This is totally a work of fiction. For the record, this is a fictional, kid-friendly adventure. Sure, it could have been any other person, but I guess they decided to choose Leonardo da Vinci simply because the guy was just an amazing individual in real life. But this is all fictional. This is a kid-friendly adventure series of the teenage protege Leonardo da Vinci, who would later become an artist and inventor, and he was the heart and soul of the Renaissance period. But remember, this is all fiction. There is nothing real about this. These events never happened in real life, or at least so we don't think. So let's just make that clear. The plot has the boy genius Leo da Vinci, voiced by Johnny Yong-Bosch, using his never-sleeping brain to help his love interest Lisa, voiced by Cherami, Leigh, to obtain money after her father's farm had been demolished by an inferno and was placed in an arranged marriage. Being that it was set in a moment in history far beyond our time, many young kids may not understand the apparatuses that were utilized in this time period. Even though Leonardo da Vinci himself was a man who was way ahead of his time and may have came up with a lot of interesting, innovative inventions, that was the aspiration for other inventors to come up with things like flying machines and stuff like that. This is kid stuff. This is all kiddie stuff. Is it good? It has its moments, but it might probably be way too light for maybe fun for kids. But if you're the adult who wants to look into a more historical account, well, you're going to be somewhat disappointed. Being that it was set in a moment in history far beyond our time, many young kids may not understand the apparatuses that were utilized in that time period. Hell, for a guy who was actually born in the century before, even I'm probably a bit awestruck too, myself. I mean, you have inventions like self-moving carts, pre-Wright brothers flying machines, a giant weather balloon, and underwater breathing machines, which might be archaic by modern standards, but were trailblazers in the Renaissance period. I mean, when you think of the Renaissance period, you think of the times when inventions were starting to become more prominent, where science and artistry was starting to become more important than religion. And though, of course, all the religious zealots out there, they probably would be like mistaking this guy for a witch, for being an atheist. But in the battles between science versus religion, this is the time of period where science was actually starting to compete with religion. And during the time of the Renaissance period, this was the time when peasants were starting to go and make names for themselves, embarking on new and innovative ways to make themselves noticed. Whether it be through art, whether it be through performances, whether it be through writing, whether it be through inventing, whether it be through music, you name it. The Renaissance period was an open time for the creative-mindedness, and Leo da Vinci was the centerpiece behind all of that. He was the jack of all trades. We all know that da Vinci's brain isn't just through his inventions, but he was also brilliant on an artistic standpoint too. His most famous works include the aforementioned Mona Lisa and the Vitruvian Man, though you'll be fortunate enough, because this is a kid's movie, you won't find any private parts here. There are no heavy amounts of violence, though there are a lot of risks at stake. There's scary sharks, there's sword-happy pirates, and sunken ships that may contain mysteries that are both exciting, albeit creepy. But the dire situations tend to get washed away quickly once a musical number takes part. Remember, this is a kid's movie, so you're bound to run into some musical numbers. And as cheesy as it may seem, they're still, catchy. And they may make you want to sort of sing and dance with a hey naughty naughty type of thing. I don't know if it was around during that period of time, but whatever. In one scary but particularly cool scene, we see a pirate stick a burning, flaming match in his mouth, which results in him exhaling a huge puff of cloud-like smoke. And for all the kids watching that, I wouldn't recommend you to copy that. No, kids, don't play with fire. You're going to be burnt. Just a warning. Going for a kid-friendly approach, Leo da Vinci Mission Mona Lisa follows the teenage Leonardo da Vinci as he tries to help his love interest Lisa, who has now gone broke after her father's farm was demolished by an aggressive fire. With his advanced intelligence and his determination, he uses his gift to retrieve a lost treasure located at the bottom of the sea. but getting in the way of his quest. Get it? Da Vinci's quest? You have to be kind of Canadian to know that. A band of evil pirates are after the treasure, which is kind of something that old pirates are notorious for. While, of course, our heroes are going to use the treasure for selfless purposes, pirates like to capture treasure just for the sake of being just a bunch of greedy marauders and using it for their own selfish purposes. Leo will definitely rely on his intelligence and skill to overcome the pirates, retrieve the treasure, and help Lisa's family from bankruptcy and her being placed in an arranged marriage to somebody who she doesn't truly love. But will she ever get married to him? Well, of course, according to in real life, Leonardo da Vinci himself never got married. In fact, there was even speculations that he was one of the greatest original LGBTQ celebrities out there, long before it was even mentioned. Yes, Leonardo da Vinci was LGBTQ, and all the rest of the other letters of the alphabet, which I may have missed out. If I did, I apologize. I'm not perfect. But yes, he was, for the record. I don't know. Never met the man. Never will. He's gone. He's gone. I wish I would have had the chance to meet him, but I came way too late for the party. And by the time I was born, he was already gone. But I guess everybody else could kind of attest to that. Even if you were born 100 years ago. Nobody lives forever. I don't. And neither do I. By making our hero with the gift of knowledge and artistic merit to his credit, seemed like an original and brilliant idea. The thing that holds this movie back is due to the muddled computer graphic algorithms that definitely pay tribute to one of humanity's most brilliant minds. And though his brain functions on both sides of his head very splendidly, Leonardo da Vinci Mission Mona Lisa doesn't really educate the kids. In many of his contributions, he helped shape the world we live in to this very day. No, this movie is played for children adventures. It's played for almost like in the same similar sense like the Saturday morning cartoons that I grew up with, along with my sugary sweet cereal that I used to eat for breakfast very religiously in the morning. True story. If you grew up in the 80s, the thing that used to get me by is Saturday morning cartoons and my Cocoa Puffs. Or my Captain Crunch. Or what other sugary induced cereals that I had for breakfast. This was played off like a Saturday morning cartoon, which is kind of reminiscent, but it's definitely doesn't make any apologies of not making it into a historical account because they want this to be a kids' movie. The adult stuff, well, if they can make it into a live-action biopic based off of Leonardo da Vinci, hey, I can attest to that. It still serves as a catalyst to the myriad of material that would come into development in the future. It's just a backdrop to the intentions this film is about. To this, kids might find it very interesting because it moves at a very quick pace. The voice acting is great. The characters are very well polished. And this definitely is for kids. It's not for adults at all. But me, I'm the type of person who will watch anything. Anything you throw at me, I will sling back and give you my 2 cents. Even if you're not interested in what I have to hear too fucking bad. Sorry if there's any kids who are watching this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear. Sometimes it just comes out of my mouth. Don't put a bar of soap in my mouth. I'll just put some money in the swear jar. I promise you I won't swear anymore. To this, kids, it's very entertaining, but the education value is not fully intact. I know they wanted to play it for kids, but it would have been more interesting if they would have did an animated version of Leonardo da Vinci and his contributions to changing the landscape of our world. When Da Vinci comes up with an apparatus to help him breathe underwater, kids will be intrigued by his ingenuity and might even inspire young kids today to become inventors in the future. There's always hope. I mean, a kid will probably see him invent something right randomly out of his head, and the kids will probably say something like, "Hey, Mommy, I want to be an inventor when I grow up. I'm going to study real hard. I'm going to get good grades." But then again, not all inventors necessarily have PhDs in quantum physics. Sometimes you could just invent something like from out of nowhere. All you just gotta do is be creative and original, and something will come out. But its priority is still dependent on Da Vinci using his survival instincts to defeat a band of pirates led by some pirate who looks like a discount version of Captain Hook. But as always, I think the weakness to the story is definitely the writing is actually for the most below average. Sometimes maybe okay for kids who don't know any better about what's happening, but for the adults who wish to add something more educational than entertaining, you will be disappointed. The youngsters who will watch this movie won't really know the difference. That combined with the vestigial animation, it looks like something you might see from a Disney Junior channel with some elements of imagination and adventure, although not very advanced. This will not make you any more smarter if you're an adult, but if you're a kid, you may probably find some levels of entertainment. It's more entertaining than educational, let's just put it that way. Sure, the targeted story was aimed at preteens, but the intentions ended up appealing more towards elementary school children from the lower grades. It looks like something that maybe somebody from like kindergarten to grade 3, hell, even 4th graders will probably not be as invested in this movie. 4th, 5th, 6th graders, no. But for the adults who will watch this movie, well, forget it. You won't find anything of interest here. Though this movie might make a great free babysitter for the young ones, I'm not going to say it's a complete failure. I just think the kids will enjoy it for entertainment, but don't expect them to get any educational merit out of it. So, if you want a film based on the true genius of Leonardo da Vinci, check out the 2003 miniseries documentary Leonardo, starring British actor Mark Rylance as the titular character. You want anything about Leonardo da Vinci? Check that out. It's really good stuff, because that's where you'll get your educational value on the history of Leonardo da Vinci. But you just won't find it in this movie. It's too kiddie, it's too saturine, it's too Saturday morning. And I'm not going to say it's stupid, because there's a lot of great adventures that go with it. But it could have been any other artist. I guess they chose Leonardo da Vinci is because he is the backbone of the Renaissance period and a true icon. And I know I'm going to make this one very short because there's really not a lot to say about this movie, but I still highly recommend you check it out. And if I was to give this movie a scale out of 10, I would probably give Leo da Vinci, Mission Mona Lisa, a 6 out of 10. So I guess this ends my writer review. It's going to be a short one this week. Thank you all for listening in. If you wish to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please feel free to do so. If you wish to leave a comment, go right ahead. But just remember the 3 simple rules. Be kind, be courteous, and please refrain from any rude comments. And I will be back again with another movie review. So until next time, this is Eric Carrot Writer saying, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.